Sawadee-krab. Welcome to the program Walailak University Global Program. This program invites international scholars and scholars who work at Walailak University to share their research findings, to share their international education experience and other relevant matters that would help forge better relationship, scholarly speaking, among universities, both in Asian regions and other parts of the world. And today we are very honored to have two very distinguished scholars who work at Walailak University, but who represent two different countries. First of all, Associate Professor Dr. Budi Waluyo from Indonesia. And then we have Associate Professor Dr. Mark Bedoya Ulla, who is from Philippines. The reason we invite you to appear on the WU Global Program today because not only do these two scholars represent very important countries and were to work with us for some years, but also two of you are top researchers at Walailak University. These two are awardees of the Princess Chulabhorn Golden Research Award that will be presented by the Princess on towards the end of this month. And this is the highest level of research award presented by Walailak University through the Princess Chulabhorn. So it's very rare. It's not common. Let's put it this way. It's very hard, for people to get this award because this is the top research award, as I say, of the university. And so there must be researcher must have done a lot in order to earn this, in order to be given this award. Can you say yourself what have you done here? Perhaps you can touch on your area of research, the number of years that you've been here, what you've been involved in at Walailak University, but most importantly, what have you done in your research to the point where you have been presented with this highest level of award by the university. Mark, maybe you go first.
Okay. I have been teaching here in Walailak for over 9 years. I started doing research in 2017, I think, when I joined Walailak University. So most of my research studies are on teacher education, language classroom, pedagogies. Yeah, and I think most of my publications were actually produced out of the classroom issues that we have here at Walailak University, and I am very, very proud that I was able to make these issues and problems in the classroom, address those issues through my publications that I could also share with the rest of the people who are working in language education.
Yeah, Budi?
For me, I think I didn't have any publication in Scopus Index journals, for sure. I came here in November 2017. So at the time, I only had one publication, which was a book chapter. And then the president of Walailak University decided to implement one-to-one publications.
Yeah.
I started to learn to prepare myself because if I couldn't publish one article a year, I would be in trouble. So in 2017, 2018, I learned. At the time, Scopus was not really popular and was really very, very difficult. Nobody really taught me how to publish at the time. So I learned and I started to publish in 2019. It got increased one by one, and last year I published 23 articles.
In 1 year?
1 year, yeah.
23 articles in 1 year.
Correct. So I think it's more about, for me, when I came here, of course, I thank the policy because it pushed me to beyond my limit, actually. But also it's because I believe that if you're teaching, you should be doing research as well, because it complements each other. When you're teaching, you have problems and you want to solve those problems, then you do research. You give some interventions, you have the findings, and then in the next semester you will implement the findings. I think it's kind of, when you're teaching, do the research as well. So it's not like if you're a researcher, you're not a teacher. And for me, my research areas involve ELT, educational technology, and international education. And I think now it's becoming more relevant because everybody can access internet, and English is no longer something like new for people, and also technology has been used widely. And now with online platforms, you can really do cross-cultural teaching and learning. So basically these three areas, I think, have been very, very important, and I've been exploring these three areas in my research and also in my teaching, actually.
Mark, how many articles did you publish last year?
Last year.
Ajahn Budi, Dr. Budi produced 23. How about you?
No, I got only 17 articles last year, so yeah.
17.
Yeah.
So you see, this is amazing because for to receive this award, you must publish over 10 research articles in 1 year, and at least 5 of them must be ranked in the percentile 90th and above. So and it must be in the Scopus indexed journals. So again, this is an extraordinary performance. I'm just curious about. Yes, I think it's quite clear that when you teach, and this is great, and I think this is a very important point that Ajahn Budi make, that in that when you teach, you run into issues that become researchable problems, so you then conduct research. But to become that productive of producing 20 journal articles, and we are talking about Scopus indexed journals, articles. So to become that productive, are there any secrets or anything that you can reveal? So how many hours you have to work on research project, for example? What about collaborations? What about finding relevant data? So what can you share your experience on that?
I think it's just about time management, and when your heart is really in doing research, no matter how busy you are in the week, like for example, you're teaching a lot of hours in a week, but if you're really passionate, when it comes to doing research, you can really do research. There's no excuse, actually. Like it only boils to the idea that it goes with the passion, the interest of people, because if you're really passionate into doing research, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that passion is so crucial, isn't it?
For me, actually, I just want to kill some time out of the teaching. When you're teaching, you have like regular schedules, things you do every week, so you will have some boredom. And for me, I have 2 ways to kill my boredom. Through sports, I play futsal and badminton, and the other one is to do research. I've been saying this, I said, if I didn't do research, I would feel really, really bored, because I need something more challenging to do, and research is like something challenging. When you finish your manuscript, there is no guarantee that it will get accepted. Not to mention the reviewers' comments are most of them are mean, and they rejected our manuscript. That kind of feeling gives me a mix of feelings to go my everyday life. And also I think there's no really such a thing, a secret strategy for me. I would say it's more like building your self-discipline every day, and you live through habits. once you have the habit, I think you can handle it. It's not, the thing is, research articles are not novels where you cannot predict the end. You can predict the end. So once you get into the habit, you know where this is going. Everything is predictable actually. Even when you see the article, 1 minute, you can see this is not publishable or publishable. It's like, yeah, I would say it's different from fictional work. It's more predictable, and you just need the habit to do that.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Correct. Again.
But for early career researcher, because it's still an issue that people have to be encouraged to publish.
Yeah.
You know, it is still an issue. So there must be something, particularly among the early career researcher, apparently still are not able to find their niche or their ways to get into the the thick of things in terms of research. So what would be your advice? Apart from, yes, passion, not having time is not an excuse. You know, actually research can be relaxing rather than, you know, it's a hard task, daunting thing, you know, so quite apparent from what Dr. Budi is saying. So, but for sometimes it's always tricky for early career researcher or those who have not done research for some years and they want to restart the engine. So what would be that some of your advice?
Yeah, doing research is not really easy. I mean, you know, you really have to take time reading a lot of work.
Reading.
Yeah.
Can you say reading a lot is one key habit that you got to
that a researcher should have.
To put in,
Yeah, you should be a critical reader. You should be able to explore more of the things in your area and outside of your area. And I think my advice for the new researchers is that just take your time, take your time in doing research, and you don't need to go far because all the issues and problems are just within our context, in our classroom, for example, our students, the way we teach the language, our university. These are just a very rich context when it comes to exploring issues and problems, because a lot of you know, new researchers are trying to look for topics and look for problems outside of their context, right? So my advice is that if you want to start doing research, start with your classroom, your teaching, your students, and the materials that you use in the classroom. That will be the first phase of doing research. Yes.
For me, I think first of all, I think I have to underline that, yeah, I did publish a lot last year, but it's not like you're walking into park and it's free. Actually, every time I receive rejections, almost every week, I almost cry, and it's broke my heart. That's why one time I told my colleagues that imagine when you were young, you're chasing a girl and you got rejected one time. You feel heartbroken. This time you receive the rejection every week. How does it feel? That's kind of feeling that you would experience when you want to publish more. So it's not easy, but I think if you want to have a career in higher education, I think there are two biggest obstacles that you have to conquer aside from teaching. That is to have publication in Scopus Index journals. The second one is to have funding. Those are the highest ones. So make sure if you get one of these, if you have one of these, I think you will have a career in higher education, and I think those complement each other as well. I think for me, I would say find a role model. For me at the time, I explore some researchers who are like having similar interests, and I'm on the quantitative research method, so I try to look for people who did this kind of research. I imitate the way they wrote. I copy the way they perform the analysis. But of course, it's not a kind of plagiarism. It's like you copy the style first. So basically, I thought there would be three processes of learning. The first one, you would imitate, and then you would immerse yourself, and then you would improvise. So you would find your own trait or your own character at the end. So that's I think, find your role models first and follow the path, then you will know how to go around from there.
These are very important points. Dr. Mark mentioned about reading a lot.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Budi, you are saying about having a role model, imitating, immersing, improvising, and all of that. But can you? But also you mentioned about the methodology, research research methods, more than anything, being quantitative and qualitative, and you are on the quantitative side of things. How important is it for particularly young researchers to get themselves familiar with the nitty-gritty of each of the research methods? Would you think that is a starting point? Without methods, you can't move on. Would you share that sort of ideas?
Yeah, it's methodology is very important because it shapes, the way how you collect and understand the process of research. That also speaks about your background, your ontological, your epistemological orientations. If you are, for example, Dr. Budi, he said that he's into quantitative. So there are so many things how a researcher can see the world. So if you are, for example, me, I am more of a qualitative side. So I see the world as multiple, to the understanding of people's experiences. So, but Ajahn Budi, Dr. Budi also mentioned that he's into quantitative, so quantification. So, but we're exactly opposite because I am into qualitative, understanding people's experiences, how these experiences shape the language teaching. So I think that's very important because it's also your identity. Once you commit yourself and immerse yourself in doing research, you need to find your identity, and that methodology will always be part of it. And it speaks about the integrity, the reliability, the validity of everything that you are doing when you have established a very good methodology in research.
Yeah, methodology is so let me give an illustration. Cooking. So for example, Dr. Surin is very good at cooking tom yum. I'm not very good. And then somebody gives us a list of recipe to cook tom yum. Even though I follow the recipe one by one, step by step, the taste would still be different from those who are good at cooking. Even though we follow the step by step. The thing is, there are stuff that is written on the textbook, but it needs to be internalized into yourself, and you need to experience it so that you will, I think, refine it, so that you will be able to do it better over time. So basically, methodology is important, but it's also important to experience how to do that. So practical experiences, what would make your methodology become better, I think.
Yeah, those are very good points. Yes, I agree. But I just want to go back to this methodology's point a little bit, because people, in other words, you got to have a recipe, you got to have the ways to cook, let's say tom yum, the analogy you use and all of that. But of course, it's then whether it will be good or excellent depends on your skill.
Yes.
But you see, this is very interesting, particularly for beginning researcher. Dr. Mark's main methodology is qualitatively oriented. Dr. Budi's main one is quantitatively oriented. But the thing is that both are legitimate. Both are totally equally legitimate. So I think this is probably is encouraging to the young researcher that actually they don't need to be worried that, oh, I'm not good at numbers, maybe experiment is not my thing. But of course, then what about the other side of the spectrum, the qualitative one? It's totally legitimate, and it could give answers to questions. legitimately in a very significant way. But then the other thing that relates to that is your empirical data.
Yes.
You see, so I just like you to focus a little bit on the relationship between research methodology, theoretical frameworks, and empirical data.
Yeah, so in, of course, choosing your methodology, you also have to align it with the theoretical framework and also with your belief of doing things. So especially when it comes to qualitative research, you always do, like, for example, there's a lot of tools to use. Interview, you can have classroom observation, and journaling in something. But in my case, as a qualitative researcher here at Walailak University, I usually do the interview and classroom observation because those tools are very accessible for me. I don't need to go out, I don't need to collect things which are not found in my classroom because all of these things are available in my class. So the way a researcher, a qualitative-oriented researcher does a qualitative research is that, when you present your findings, you have to make sure that those things from your interview and from your classroom observation will also reflect the way how you frame your questions, also answer your questions, and of course your theoretical background. So these three things, your theoretical framework, your methodology, and your findings should be aligned together so that you'll be able to have a robust research, with a valid contribution to knowledge. Yeah.
Right. For me, I think it's more like connectivity. When you write in the introduction, it must very closely connect with your literature review or theoretical framework, and then your methodology will be the place where your readers will see how you did it, so that if they want to replicate the research or they want to conduct a different research to compare the findings, they would be able to see your methodology.
Yeah.
But I would like to underline another thing is that there is no such a thing as perfect research. Like me, I got a lot of comments that this is all numbers. You need to integrate qualitative research, data, interviews. Also, Ajahn Marks also received such kind of critiques as well, because even though if you do mixed method, they will find another way to criticize your research. So I would say one, for if you're still beginner, is that one, don't worry about being blamed that you're wrong. No, because as long as you have references that you say this, and then these were found by this, you're good to go. And the second one, I think there will be critics, and you should expect those kind of comments. And people criticize our work, then we should be grateful. It means that they read our work and could be insights as well for us to improve in the future.
So in other words, young researcher, early career researcher should be prepared this reality that actually you've got a lot of rejections.
Correct.
And then, as you said, you have to be a little bit of thick skin, really. It's not to get too
sensitive.
Sensitive about critiques, like critics, by critics, criticisms and all of that. So it's pretty interesting. Now, people often hear, people would say, particularly among young, the early career researcher, that it's hard to find journals.
Yes.
How hard is it to find appropriate journals to submit your articles?
Yeah, it is very, very hard, because one journal, when that journal rejects your paper, you can find another journal. But although there are thousands of journals out there, but you need to choose also something that could be the proper venue for your research. Just like us, that's why we are awarded the Golden Research Award, because we only publish it to top tier journal. You cannot
Q1,
you cannot just publish and submit your paper to anywhere. It has to be of quality also, so that your work can also be seen and be read by people in your academic field. Yeah, so that's the most important thing.
For me, I have a simple ways, like I have some time to write, some other time to explore the journals. I use the bookmarks on Google Chrome, So when I explore the journals, oh, this is Q1, I created folder. The name is like high percentiles journal, 7,000 words, research articles. So basically on my Google Chrome, I have bookmarks. So when I finish my manuscript, I would just go over those lists and then click whichever fits my article.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, you would always feel confused, and although you feel like this is the right journal, but then the editor said it's out of the
scope.
journal scope, which is why this is exactly the same of the title, exactly the same as your journal's title. That's the thing it's never really clear at the beginning until you try it.
Yeah.
Then when you have experience, you can make a map that this journal is easy, this journal is quite difficult, this journal will require you to do this and that. That's why one time I told one of my colleagues is that if you have published 5 articles, I don't think you've seen everything. So until you have published like more than 10 articles, you've seen everything.
To different journals.
Yeah, correct.
So, Dr. Budi, you've been here for how many years now?
More than 7 years.
7 years. And how many, altogether, how many journal articles have you published? I mean, last year alone, 23, but others...
total.
I think more than 20 or 30 journals.
Articles, you mean?
Yes,
I mean
that's why
articles.
I think it's the same as Ajahn, but for us is we have to be careful, because when we have another collaborator and he or she wants to submit to this journal, we have to check our record. Sorry, I have one manuscript here under review, so move to another journal. It happens a lot, Ajahn. So if we have international collaborator, we need to talk, and sometimes they will feel like, really? Then we will have to look for another journal. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have one manuscript under review here, or published already. So,
would you think that having international collaborators would help in your productivity?
Yeah, I think. I believe so, because, well, yesterday I just turned 70. My 70th paper, the total paper I have. So
how many years have you been here now?
20. Like I started 2017, and until now, so I already got 70 articles published in Scopus, and most of my papers are actually international collaborators. And the product of like having 10 papers every year or more than 10, this is because of my international collaborators. I cannot do this alone, like solo authored paper. I cannot. So I have to tap to our university partners. We have MOUs. We have a lot of MOUs. So we have to be to be part of those collaboration also when it comes to research.
Yeah, for me it is very important, Ajahn, because you will have the opportunity to write another context. You know, boredom. It happens a lot. You write about Thailand, Walailak. When you have an international collaborator, you would have experience to explore Uzbekistan, Algeria, Indonesia, the Philippines, other areas. Also, it makes the task easier, because maybe they will be responsible for collecting the data, and then we are supervising them, and then when it comes to writing, we will have more work to do, things like that. But if we are still beginners, I think it's better to focus on building up our capacity, our quality. They will come at the end, the research collaborators. The more you publish, they will just come message you that, can we do research collaborations? So I think maybe if you're a beginner, spare like 2 or 3 years to study, learn, it will come to you. But if you spend time, this is the thing, is that most people, they just message top researchers and they want to collaborate, but those top researchers, sometimes they don't really want to build connection with, like, who are you, and blah blah blah. So we can collaborate with those top researchers, but I think we need to make ourselves seen first.
And that is one of the secrets, really, to try to have international collaboration in your research area. And I think the fact that President our president, Professor Dr. Sombat Thamnong Thanyawong, is very big on this
Yeah.
currently. He is promoting international research collaborations. So obviously we are on the right track.
Yes.
And we are running out of time. Dr. Mark and Dr. Budi, and congratulations again on your receiving of the highest award from Walailak University. And this is going to be a real gold, golden badge. So congratulations again, and thank you for your contributions to Walailak University, and thank you so much
Thank you.
for appearing on the program.
Thank you so much.